You're listening to Miss Opinionated, real life, real perspective, and unapologetic truth. Here is your host, Divine Priestess.
So welcome to another episode of Miss Opinionated. I am Divine Priestess. Today we are talking about Cuba. Hablamos Cuba. And there are going to be some guests on here. I'm very excited about these guests. I'm quite early to this recording because honestly I was supposed to wait on them, but I want to talk about my experience with Cuba before they get on here, because once they get on here, that's it. I'm pretty sure I don't necessarily expect to get any words in. So when it comes to Cuba, I wanted to talk about what I saw, what I learned, what challenged me, what changed me. And I did bring back a souvenir. I brought back 2 souvenirs. But one of the biggest things that I saw in Cuba, first off, let me tell you when I went. I went in March. So when Trump was like, no travel to Cuba, this and the third, this is right when the gas issue started to really kick in. I still went to Cuba. My flight didn't get canceled, and I'm like, I'm getting on that flight. Also, again, I'll be very close eared to my muertos. I'll be very close ears to the Orishas. And they told me that to continue to go, that I was going to get there and I was going to get back and that I was going to have a good time. Sure enough, I did, right? Number one, I had no idea. There's only one flight to Cuba per day. And so I missed my first initial flight, right? March 8th, March 9th, I missed my flight because the line at Hobby was long. It was long. I typically get to the airport, about 2 to 3 hours early. Missed my flight. Still had to wait in line because once I made it through TSA, I still have to go to the desk and ask for help with the flight. But while I'm in the line, I'm on the phone with Southwest talking to them about, hey, I'm going to miss my flight. Or I might miss my flight. Is there any way that I can get another flight to Cuba? And they were like, miss your flight first. If you missed it, talk to someone at the desk. They'll help you this and the third. But they were like, yeah, we have another flight to Cuba. The plane will leave Houston. You'll get to Cuba next day. And I'm like, okay. Continue to go through TSA. I get to the desk at the terminal and I asked the lady, hey, I need to get to Cuba. You have any more flights? And she was like, oh, we don't have another flight for damn near 2 days. And I'm like, I have to get to Cuba now because are you guys going to extend my trip? Like, I need to get to Cuba. I was like, is there any flight to at least get me to Florida so that I can get to Cuba? And they were like, no, it's going to be on like Wednesday, Thursday. I'm not trying to hear that. So I leave the desk and I'm walking the hallway. I'm calling Southwest again. Hey, I missed my flight to Cuba. The line to TSA was really long. I need to get to Cuba. What's the earliest flight you can get me? We have a flight leaving out tonight from Hobby. You'll go to Baltimore. In the morning, you'll fly to Tampa. Then you'll be in Cuba. Bet. Take it. Because I'm like, this lady at the desk talking about I can't get to Cuba till like damn Wednesday, Thursday. That's crazy. So I go home, take a nap. I get back to the airport 6 hours before my flight just so I can make it. I get there, waiting in that long line, the line that wrapped all the way in the parking lot, in the parking garage. Waiting in that line, get to my terminal. I get to Baltimore. I sleep in the airport. First time I ever sleeping in the airport. I slept in the airport on the floor next to a little pole. Get a plane, get to Tampa, already seeing people in white, then get to Cuba. And getting to Cuba, the airport is so different. We are very privileged here in America, of course. I always knew that, but to like really see it, the airport was so different. I tell people the airport reminded me of like the Greyhound bus station, right? But for planes. Get off the plane, going down to I don't even know what to call it. I'm just gonna say checkpoint. All right, so you go through this line. There's like a row of people. They check your passport. They look at your documents. From there, then you go to another line. And in that line, they check your passport, check your visa. I did my visa partially correct. Had to leave the line, go all the way to the help desk because I had to pay for Wi-Fi because there's no cell phone service out there unless you're paying for international. Had to pay for that. I had to put my passport information on my visa. That's what I forgot. Go back to the checkpoint, then go back to the other checkpoint. Bet. After you leave that, you're going through a security point. They are scanning your bags. They're going through your bags. Get that. Boom. Go outside. I'm waiting on my taxi driver because I got an Airbnb, and so she had a driver come pick me up. So waited on her. I was so glad to find them because I'm like, there's no way. Like, my godmother is not here yet. She won't be here until the very next day because something's happened with her flight too. So I met up with him. We get to the house. Okay, cool. And so I got in contact with her. She got me in contact with my padrino. You don't speak no English, but I'm glad that the house manager speaks Spanish. So he was able to like talk to him and give him a lot more information than I could because at that time I did not have I didn't know how to do nothing at that point. Right? I paid for the internet because again, you really got to pay for internet. Everything you pay for. And I sat there and I waited. Slept on a couch. Woke up. He was there. He took me to the Capitol. And it's so funny because I thought with going with my godfather, he knows I don't speak Spanish. Well, not enough. So I'm like, this is going to be a silent, like, pointing out, he took me to a restaurant by the Capitol. And that was different. It was different. The food was good. It was different. I can't tell you what exactly I ate, but it was good. But when I tell you that whole entire time I was with my padrino, he talked. I'm like, oh my gosh, like trying to describe things to him was very difficult. So I'm like giving like little examples, like trying to, like with this, it's like, it's a green thing and it has sprouts, So I'm literally like damn near doing Pictionary, but without pictures, right? Just describing these things. So with that, we start walking down in the old Havana. And so he showed me this hotel. And I remember him telling me about this hotel. He's like, it was a grand hotel further down, and across is an area that's not so great. So he pointed out to me. And again, it's crazy that my Spanish in Cuba is so much better than it is here. Like, I managed to have conversations. I managed to understand what was being said with the very little that I know. So he showed me the Grand Hotel, and then literally right across the street is an area where he said it used to be very lively. Like, it used to be a lot of music, a lot of stores, a lot of. However, there's not many tourists that come to Cuba anymore, right? So shops are closed. Things are looking very run down. All these different things. And I honestly, truly Tell people, go to Cuba. Go visit Cuba. It is beautiful. It's beautiful. The culture is beautiful. The people, beautiful. Very kind, very generous people. Go to Cuba. Don't worry about what they say. They always say things negative when there's black people involved and Latin Americans involved. Everything is bad. It's this, it's that. We got crime here in America. That don't stop you from visiting New York. That don't stop you from coming to Houston. You see what I'm saying? Go visit Cuba. Because also, I want to put some things into perspective. The reason why these major cities are the way that they are is because of tourism. If Houston didn't have tourism, if New York didn't have tourism, okay, go visit these islands. Go visit Latin America, okay? Because the thing is, too, when you go visit, support the locals. Do not support these big corporations, these big hotel chains. Support the locals. Put the money in the locals' pockets, okay? Now, with on there, of course, they're talking about the power outages. Of course, they're talking about, you know, no water, no this, no that. There's trash everywhere. There was not trash everywhere. Yes, there were certain parts that didn't have light. However, it wasn't an all day thing. It was certain times, like, some areas there's blackouts, some areas there wasn't. I was very fortunate enough to stay in an area where there was no blackouts. Matter of fact, there was a blackout for in my area for maybe like an hour or so, not long, and it was during the day. But that's the thing too. Of course, in America, when there's blackouts, you still have water. Over there, blackout, no water, right? None. It's different, but also the way that their systems is set up, it's different. It's different over there. I mean, it's beautiful nonetheless of how things are set up over there, but it's definitely different than how we live. Not that much, you know. But yeah, I saw areas that may have garbage. I saw areas that didn't. You know, I see people having good times, right? Cuba was very eye opening. I learned a bit more about myself. I learned, of course, more about another culture. Because the thing is, too, when people talk about Cubans, um, I would say when Black Americans talk about Cubans, sometimes it is very negative. Okay, I know when I went over there, what I seen was different. Now, this is the thing too. They live different out there than us. So when they come over here and they do things like they do in Cuba, to some people, it's deemed as shady or whatever the case may be. But it's like it's how the things are done over there, right? For example, I have no problem telling people, yeah, I came from the projects, I lived in the projects. So therefore, things that I do is because I'm kind of like in that space. Like, yeah, I understand I don't live there no more. I don't have to live like that no more. But there's certain things when it's ingrained in your head, it's ingrained in your head, right? But also I recognize patterns. So it's like I know how to maneuver. Okay. So it's the same thing when it comes to Cubans. The biggest thing that challenged me out there was my Spanish. Knowing Spanish is a must. And it's a must for me anyways, being in the Lukumi tradition. Because again, you need to speak the language. It's a lot of knowledge. It's a lot of elders. And a lot of the elders don't speak English. You want to learn, you need to speak the language of the practices, the traditions you are in. Point blank, period. What changed me, what changed in me was like, I need to go after my dreams and I need to make it happen. I cannot sit and wait around and wait for the perfect moment, go after it. Because in Cuba, they going after their dreams. And that was the thing of like, yeah, I've always been told I'm a go-getter. But when you are around other go-getters that, and I don't want to say that they have less, but that have different resources than me, because I got more resources. There's no reason why I'm not doing what I need to do to succeed because they making it with less, right? So it woke something up in me of like, go after your dreams. It don't matter what it looks like. It can be very imperfect. Get it done, right? Because I'm letting you know right now. Yeah, when they look at us, it's like, why are you not doing it? Look what you have. Yeah, we can complain all day long about how the world is, but complaining is not going to change anything, right? They are doing amazing things with less. The fact that those cars from the 30s is running, I'm talking about them things is running. Right? They're not getting parts. They are using the resources that they have because parts are not being shipped over there like that, right? They are very resourceful. So that really sparked another level of go get an enemy, of like make it happen, right? I've always been told like excuses are like assholes, everyone got it. True. But being over there and seeing like what they are doing, it's like I ain't doing enough, right? I've always felt like I was doing enough, but it's like I'm not even moving smart, you know, making excuses. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need that. You don't need that, right? So that definitely awakened something in me. It awakened something in me spiritually. It awakened something in me emotionally and mentally, right? Cuba was a very beautiful experience. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I sit here and think about Cuba every single day, right? I did learn, of course, when it comes to Cuba, of how things are. You know, someone was sitting there telling me how, yeah, the government does give, you know, money. Um, hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I was sitting here talking about my experience of Cuba before you guys got on. And I was talking about how Cuba really awakened something in me because Cuba reminded me that I'm not. Hold on, let me connect it to my headphones real quick. It's still here. Well, yeah, I was like, Cuba awakened something in me that to stop making excuses because the resources here is like we are very privileged and we have a lot more resources, and being in Cuba definitely reminded me of like it's not the resources that I necessarily need to be successful. It is just moving a lot smarter, and that's where I feel like I'm at of like needing to move a lot smarter with things here because making excuses of like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this. Oh, I need this to be successful. It's like you don't need that to be to be successful. You you just need to make it happen. Because I was talking about how like with the cars, like the cars being from like the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, about how they are running cars, just like how we have these 2026s that we complain about because the steering wheel isn't heated or you know and it's like they got cars literally from the 1930s that are up and running, that they have restored the engine and all these things without parts, that we have access to here in America, that they have somehow managed to use whatever they have. I don't know what they got in them hoods, but whatever is under it, it works. And so it's like going to Cuba really changed something in me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I feel like I went through a spiritual activation being in Cuba.
Definitely. I mean, literally and figuratively. But thank you for having me around. Hi, guys.
Yes. Yes. So everyone, this is Boris. I'm very grateful and appreciative to have you on here. So I was telling people about you, and I was like, yeah, my friend, he's from Cuba. And I was like, he can definitely give more insight on it because I only visited it once, you know. And of course, I had a great time, but also I do tell people that when I speak of Cuba, I kind of speak from a place of privilege because I wasn't raised there, so I don't really know everything that happens. You know, even though I'm speaking from a place of privilege, like, oh, Cuba is beautiful. It is beautiful,
It is.
regardless, you know. But I was like, it's a different experience because I was only there for X amount of days and didn't really get to be immersed
Right.
in all that Cuba has and comes with.
So one thing I would love to say is like, yes, it is beautiful. Yes, most of the island is untouched. Yes, it's a lot of things that can be done, and it's a lot of things that we don't want. We as Cubans, like, if you know, you know, we don't want them to be touched, right? Like, because we want that nature, we want that richness. That's what makes the place unique, right? But it's other things like things that we because I'm here, right? Like I'm in the U.S. I live in Rhode Island. Like, yeah, we take for granted that I know we don't have down there, and those things are like infrastructure type of things, and that has been deteriorated with time and bad management and you know many things. So one of the things I would like to say is that in order to understand this conversation about Cuba, you need to have your mind open that two things can be true at the same time. What I'm trying to say is like multiple things can be true at the same time, and like in life, like things coexist, right? Like it's not just let's find one thing or one entity or one single person or situation to blame, because then the other things that are also true are put aside. And the reality is that at the end of the day, when we play that game that, oh, one thing it is, but the other one, I don't think it is really, you know, and we try to theorize, we miss the point that is very important. It's a multiple factors that brought it to the place that where it is at right now, right? So, and we need to have that in mind. Not just, hey, let's blame just the U.S. or let's blame just the Cuban government. Hey, let's blame just the people that don't want to say, nah, it's a multiple factors type of things. It's a historic thing. And unfortunately, right, at the end of the day, the people that look like myself, like look like yourself, are the ones being affected. That is the regular people, like the day-to-day people. They are the one being affected. So with that being said, right, like we can have then an honest conversation, an open conversation about it, right? Like without missing the point that is, hey, situation down there, it will humble you, you know? Not long ago, you were talking about it. I saw a video of a Cuban descent that have never been in the island, and she decided, you know what, I'm going to my family's house to see my cousins and all of that, because her family, her actual family, live in the States, right? So she went and she was kind of detailing for people to see how difficult it is. Like when you go like in a regular, like like a regular Cuban, right?
Yeah.
Like you have multiple buckets of waters, you have multiple tanks to store water, and it's a little surreal for people. For us, it's normal. Like when I went back last year, it was kind of like oh, I'm back. Like, all right, I know. It's nothing new for me. Like taking a
Yeah.
shower like that, like bathing like that was not something like shocking. Oh my God, this is shocking. No, it's regular. That's what I did since I grew up all the way until I was 27. So
Yeah.
those things, those minimal things that we take for granted, that you're going to wake up, go to the bathroom, and you're gonna run your water to clean your mouth, your face.
Yeah.
That's not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, because when I before I got to Cuba, and I have always had this thing in me of like, I'm not gonna believe the negative that someone says. People always talk negatively about Haiti. People
Hmm.
always talk negative about Cuba. And so talking to people that been to Cuba, they were like, "Oh, you're not gonna like it. You're gonna hate it. You're gonna wish you came back. They don't have toilet seats. They don't have this. You're gonna take cold showers." And I get to Cuba and I'm like, I had the most beautiful experience. And I sat there and I like rubbed it in their face. I said, I had a beautiful experience. You know, I was like, my time was so great. I wanted to stay longer. I did not want to come back. I'm literally, I think on day 2 or day 3, I'm sitting there like, do I have to come back to America? And it's like, I was like, do I have to come back? Can I leave my life and live here? But I'm like, oh, you gotta have money to live here. Like, you can't just up and leave with like nothing like prepared, nothing well thought out, girl. Like, cause where you gonna live? you know? But I sat here and I was like showing pictures, making people like that went to Cuba that didn't quote unquote have like the best experience. And I'm rubbing in their face. I was like, this is where I stayed. This is the things that I saw. These are the things that I did. I was like, it was great, you
Yeah.
know? And so, but I also got to see another side of Cuba. I saw many different sides of Cuba. I stayed so the house that I stayed at, which was crazy, I want to say it was Fidel Castro's mistress's house. I
Okay.
ended up staying at her house, or was it? It was somebody that was in the government. I ended up staying at their mistress house, um, and it was like big. It was nice. And then I went to another area where I told my mom. I said, we lived in the projects. I said, them ain't the projects, Mom. I was like, this is completely different. I said, nonetheless, I was like, it's still like nice on the inside. I said, but the neighborhood, I was like, we thought we lived in the ghetto. I said, is that we don't have no ghetto. We don't have no ghetto. The projects is the goddamn penthouse here.
Right. Like,
you know?
it's funny. It's a funny story for me that I want to share with you. Right. So, I was living in Savannah for a little bit, and I remember while I was living in Savannah, I brought my mom from Cuba. Right. And I was showing her around. Look, this is the city. This is. And by the way, yes, I changed the hat because it was being too bad. I'm a journalist, guys. So
Yeah.
so the hat, I understand image. So the hat was being too distractive in the image, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing that to my sis. No, not happening. Not happening. Nah, we doing the high quality. But going back to the story, I was touring my mom, like, showing around the city or whatever, and I was showing her, like everybody does, hey, this is downtown, this is the nice area, this is the area where, people that got a little bit, like quite a bit money live. This is the area where it's a gated community. We know it's some millionaires over there, right? As well as then I went like, but by the way, this is what they consider the
Yeah.
ghetto, or like the neighborhoods, like the poor people, and my mom was like, what are you talking about? This is why they don't know nothing. You know what I mean?
Nothing.
Like, I don't know if you edit this, but if you edit, I can send you a video of where I grew up.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can send you a video. You can show them for them to understand, right? Like, I grew up in a little apartment, and we love it. That's our little thing, and
Yeah.
every time I go back at home, that's where I'm going. I'm not
Yeah.
changing unless we move
Yeah.
or something like that. I'm not changing. That's where I'm going. I'm going to my neighborhood. I'm going to where I grew up, because even though it have changed, and multiple people that live there now, they don't even know who the heck I am. Not that they care, and I understand, because they live in a high struggle moment, right? Like an intensity type of thing. And so I know that they care who the heck I am. They don't need to know. But the ones that are still there, I want them to see me. Like, I haven't changed. Yes, I have changed for the better, but in the core, I'm still little Boris from Buena Vista, Havana, Cuba. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
still that little kid trying to
Yeah.
make it out of there, and trying to, while enjoying
Yeah.
the little things, right?
Yeah.
Like for people don't understand, you guys here culturally don't do things that we do in the island. No matter what island, everybody know islanders will be with shorts, no shoes, maybe flip flops or chanclas or whatever, and no
Yeah.
shirt. Or I don't like to call it like that. We call it camiseta, but you guys call it over here wife beater. I don't like the term.
Beater. I don't like
I don't
it
like
either.
the term. We need to change that term. Yeah. I'm advocating.
Yeah.
Advocating for changing that term. But the thing is, it's like, that's what we do. Or no shirt at all. Or just the white beater. And sometimes no shoes though. You know what I mean? Like, we'd be walking.
Yeah.
And we'd be enjoying life. I grew up less than a mile away from the beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey.
Now, you said Buena Vista or Bella Vista?
No. Buena Vista. Like, worst
Okay,
neighborhood in Havana.
I was in a place called Bella Vista.
I know. It's like,
And
this is what I'm
I
telling
was
you.
like, I'm looking at them like, oh my God.
I know.
Like, I'm like, I literally, when I got back to my Airbnb, because there was no cell phone service, my mama said, Mom, we don't know nothing. We know nothing. And when I went, and it was so funny because I stayed close, I guess they was like, where I was staying was like kind of like a real nice area, kind of like an uppity area. And I'm like, okay. So then I went to Bella Vista, and then went back to Airbnb, and someone else picked us up. They said, now I'm about to show you the real hood. And again, I'm like, okay. So we
I
driving.
think you saying Bella Vista. I think it's a place. Bella Vista is a place, but also like,
Yeah.
I
It was
think you probably were in my neighborhood, probably. So we
And
need
that's
to
why I'm
wait.
like-
We need to wait for your godmother. That way she can give me the mieles, and she can give me the sweet talk. You know what I mean? That way
Yeah,
I
because
know.
I just remember all of the houses. It's like it kind of remind me of like duplexes, like how it was like all next door, but all of them were blue, and the roads were not.
That's
I'm
the
like,
same
I
way
don't
I
know
used to
nobody driving.
So that's the other two there. All right. No. You're right. That's Bay Area.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, but it's kind of similar.
Okay. And so he was like, I'm going to take y'all to the hood, the real hood. So he's driving us over here to this area. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, this the hood? I'm like, because where we was at earlier, what's that? Because I'm like, this don't look like the hood. Like, these look like real nice houses. I was like, it may be hood activity,
Maybe.
but this don't look like the hood to me. But however, like we sat there, and that's when I realized Cubans don't sleep
We don't. We don't. We don't really do that. We
because
try. We try.
oh my gosh, because mind you, it's like three something in the morning, and the ceremony is still happening, and I'm like, when are we leaving? Like,
I
when are
mean,
we
yeah.
going home?
When things are done, then I'm done. So, and after that,
Oh,
this is the part, right? You think that you guys invented Aztec party. You don't know nothing about Caribbean people. And I say
oh my
Caribbean because it's a
god,
Caribbean thing, right? Like
yeah.
everybody from the Caribbean knows what I'm talking about. Like,
Oh
no
my
matter if you are
gosh.
from Cuba, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, the Les Antilles, don't matter. Like, they know.
It,
Like, we don't, like, when we are in mode, doing things necessary, could be partying or
yeah.
we do anything. Like we go to the stream, and after we finish, whatever we're doing, could be we building a house, right? Like we laying a concrete roof. Don't matter. After that, we need to have some party activity, like a little rum going on, a little music, and a little domino. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my gosh. I was so tired. And the fact that nobody else was sleepy, I'm like, I should have prepared for this. You
I told
know?
you.
Like it
I
was
told
it
you.
was a lot.
Hey, I told you. Your brother told you before you went there. I was like, hey, like erase the ship, just go with the flow. Whenever you
Uh,
got the opportunity, take naps. I told you that.
I didn't get much. I don't know how I managed to go that whole week. I feel like I didn't get no sleep. I feel like there was times where I just closed my eyes, but it's not like. And also, it was the fact that I didn't get much sleep, but also wasn't tired, which was the thing until I got back to America, and I was like, I need sleep. I'm so tired. I ain't slept. It was so different.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
everything was different.
I, and that's the thing, right? Like that's what we crave. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's what we crave when we migrate to this country, and that's what we crave, right? Like, we don't crave structures. We don't crave the way things move. We don't crave that. What we crave is that human interaction, that energy,
Yeah.
right? Because that keeps you in a place that give you the possibility to move the way you were doing it, right? Like it was more about the human connection, the human interaction, that energy moving around the room that keeps you up, keeps you. And the good thing is like people will respect your sleep. If you sleep, like they won't try to wake you up or none of that. They understand. Hey, let it take a little nap, because
Yeah.
this is gonna take a little longer than what we expected for X, Y, and Z. Don't matter what it is that we would be doing. So I'm happy first that you had the experience, and second, that now you have the open mind to understand. All right, this is not what people normally would say, but it is here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It and I sit here and I tell people all the time of like go see Cuba, go to Cuba, and but I also sit here and I look at it from multiple lenses. But one of the lenses I look at, especially when people like to say, "Oh, Cuba's poor, Cuba's this, Cuba's that," and it's like Cuba needs tourism. Any place needs tourism. We have a lot of tourism here in America. That's why Miami's the way it is. That's why New York is the way it is. That's why Los Angeles is the way it is because of tourism. People come from all around the world and they spend lots of money because they want the experience. Yeah, I understand it can be very annoying because they will, what's the word, like romanticize people's experience and put it off as their aesthetic. But it's like at the end of the day, that money that they're bringing in is supporting businesses. It's supporting the community. It's supporting a lot of changes that's happening in Cuba. just like a whole lot of islands, need that. They don't need the Hilton Hotel there. There's plenty of spaces that are ran by locals that you can stay at because, again, you want to put money in the locals' pockets and not these big corporations because those corporations are not paying taxes. So they're just taking all this money and
Or
putting in
some of
bringing.
those corporations, like going back to the initial, and you're absolutely right. Some of those corporations are working
Mhm,
straight with the government. So you know,
mhm,
like you want to say that the government it is what it is. That is the truth, right?
mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, all right, you don't want to do that. All right, support the local. You know, like
Mhm.
the local business, the local
Yeah.
guy. Like those people. Believe me, you will have a more wholesome experience. Yes, you won't
Mhm.
have the 5 stars and whatever the all inclusive
Yeah.
bullshit that people dream about and all of that. True, you
Mhm.
won't have that experience, but you will have a more human experience and will
Yeah.
open your mind to something different, right? And believe me, locals
Yeah.
know how to have a better time than you being in the hotel. Believe me.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
the
Like,
hotel is better than the regular experience at the at the root at the people level? Nah, f that. Believe me, I can tell you, f that. You haven't seen
yeah.
a beautiful concert and beautiful people, beautiful black bodies melting with each other, doing their thing, and
Yeah.
some of those people probably didn't eat. You know what I mean? Some of the
Yeah.
people like sacrifice a little bit. I'm saying it because I did it, right? Like you
Mhm.
sacrifice just to be there
Yeah.
and have
Yeah.
something to do, and that's what I think people miss.
Mhm.
And we focus too much on the route, but then we go to these places, like let's say then we go to Cuba, and people support the the very thing that they trying to highlight for whatever other country, can be the US or whatever,
Mhm.
right? Like stop supporting that. Like
Yeah.
it don't make sense.
Yeah. Because I end up staying at an Airbnb, and that Airbnb, I didn't know that they had employed people, and it was quite shocking to me, and it was very weird because I like to do things for myself. I don't like people quote unquote serving me and doing things like, no, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. There was a house manager and there was two ladies that would come clean the house, and they would also make breakfast if we wanted to. And they would do things and I'll be like, you go sit down, I'm gonna go wash the dishes. Like, no, I don't need you to go pour my coffee. You sit down, relax, I can go do it myself. And the thing is, it's like they was also sharing the experience of like they didn't live in a city, they lived an hour away, and they would talk about how they would have to walk distances, then catch a bus, and then have to walk because it's not like the transportation system here. It's different, and these people are like in their 70s
Yes.
doing all of this walking and things like that.
I haven't walked, like for real, right? Like I haven't done that in more than a decade. Since I
Hmm.
got here, I have been very privileged in the sense that since I got here, I always had a vehicle, right? I always had
Yeah.
a car or something to move around. Like
Hmm.
I think in my whole time here, if I didn't have a car, because probably was broken or something like that, right? Or was in the shop
Hmm.
or something. I think the total amount of time was, of course, it was not just a once, but the total amount of time, maybe 6 months, 7 months. That's
Hmm.
it. You know what I mean? Over there, like when I went back, I'm sorry, I'm remembering this thing is funny, right? Like for me, all these distances were like huge, right? Like it takes
Hmm.
you an hour, like you say, but it's not that takes you an hour. If you have a car, it takes you 20 minutes, right? This is a small
Yeah.
place, you know what I mean? But takes you an hour because first the boss needs to get there, right? Like Wawa needs to get there, and that's not, that's not like a regular schedule. We got a ton of buses and all that. Also, you went during the time that the fuel crisis started. So it was already difficult, right? Like, plus you add that, it becomes way more difficult, right? Buses need to run with fuel. They don't run with electricity. And even if they run with electricity, why electricity? Because half of the time they don't have electricity because they need fuel to produce electricity. So, so it's interesting, right? To see those things in your face, right? And how people walk. We walk. Like my mom used to walk. She don't walk that much now. She don't need to, right? But my mom used to walk a lot just to communicate with me. Like if you wanted to talk to me, this is 3 to 4 years ago, she needed to walk 2 miles. Just that's one way, 2 miles to get there. Then she will be standing to be able to communicate with me. Then after she finished to talk to me or whatever, she needs to walk 2 miles back, meaning she walked a total 4 miles. Just to talk to me for sometimes just 5 minutes. You know what I mean? She walked to do that, like, because it's not like everybody got transportation and all of that. Also, we use a lot of bicycle. Like it's a lot of people with bicycle or electric bikes. Now they're more popular now. Back in my day, we walked. Or you had a bicycle and you do your thing, right? Like I had a bicycle or whatever. But then eventually, you'd be like, nah, whatever, I walk, right?
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing too of like, there's cars there. I saw a few cars that were new. A lot of them are just old cars, but definitely seeing like the bikes was like the biggest form of transportation. And that was more so like, of course, when people talk about taxis, you're thinking of like a car. No. The taxis, it is like a bike with this like trunk space with this covering, and sometimes it's a 2-seater, sometimes it's a 6-seater. you know, and they have like a little radio that's connected to the bike. Sometimes the bike is electric, sometimes it's gas. But also, I realized that over there, it's a lot of negotiation that's happening. They will tell you their price, but then you like, this is the price that I'm gonna pay. And then it's like a little argument of like, well, no, this is the price, and it's like, this is what I'm gonna pay. So then they walk off, and everyone gets silent for a second, and then they come back with the final price, and it's like, okay, and then you go where you gotta go. And
that's the power of negotiation right there.
And I'm like, we don't negotiate here.
One of the things, multiple things in the movie sceners, just to connect people, for people to understand. You remember that scene of Stack? Stack was telling the little girl, hey, I want you to take care of this truck, and I need you to lay on the horn if you see something happening, right? And she was like, all right, cool. And he was like, I got only 10 cents. And she was like, all right, cool. And he was like, no. You need to tell me, what do you have? Like, what do you want, right? Like, don't just accept blindly. So that's what we normally do. You grew up knowing that. Hey, it's certain things that we know that's the price and that's the first price and, whatever. But it's all the things that we know it can be negotiated. Like, and the power of negotiation. And I'm happy that you saw that, because that's not just in Cuba. That's not just in the Caribbean. That's not just in Latin America or Africa. That's everywhere. We are in America. We are the only country that we don't do that. We just go
Yeah.
to whatever the people say it is. And people will get mad if you be like, hey, this should be cheaper. Like, this is what I got for you. They get mad, right?
Yeah.
And they get mad if you don't give them a tip. You know what I mean? I get it. We need to
Yeah.
tip. But guys, we need to tip. I get it. I get why, right? But what I'm trying to say is like, you don't have a say in how much your food, your life, it costs. You don't have a say on that. So what is the freedom on that? The freedom is, hey, let's negotiate, right? We understand it's certain things, the price it is what it is, right? But it's all the things that the price needs to be negotiated. We shouldn't just upset that Apple will tell you, hey, guess what? My phone is this much. And you'd be like, nah, hell no. Your phone should be this because this company over here got better phone than yours and it's this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Everything is
if
a
you want me,
negotiation.
you know what I mean? You need to negotiate. You know what I mean? If you want me to stay here with you, that's what I do and I think that's the only moment I feel like I'm back to my roots and stuff is like with phone companies. Like I'd be like, hey, I can go back to Mint Mobile. They're giving me the best for my buck right now. You know what I mean? If you want me to stay with you, like, I don't need the phone. I can go get a cheaper phone. Like, I don't need it. Like, people don't get it, right? Like, so that's one of the skills that is shocking to people when they get to Cuba. Also, the way we talk. That's the other thing that is shocking to people when we talk over there, right? Like it looks like we're fighting. We're probably not even fighting. We're just having a conversation. We just negotiating.
Very passionate.
Yeah, it's just that. It's just be passion, be energy, and everybody's like that. Like if you get a little shy, people be like, "Oh, we got him." You know what I mean? So you shouldn't get shy. Just enjoy. And if you don't understand something, let the local handle it, right? Like let the local handle it. Let them do whatever they need to do. But yeah, over here, those are the things that are shocking to us. It's like you don't have the power to negotiate. And then you find people that you really can negotiate and everything. And they because they got a little bit of an open upper hand on you, they take advantage of it, and it's like, come on, though. Like, and let me put this story. Like, I moved from Savannah to Rhode Island, back to where I was. This is the place I land. Yes, a Cuban that land in the Northeast without passing through Miami or Houston. Yes, I'm one of them. But I moved over here, right? I moved back. I feel this is kind of home for me because this is the first thing I saw, right, when I got to the U.S. And I make community and you know, I'm very involved over here with the community and everything. But by the way, for those that don't know, we are like 49% Latinos over here in Rhode Island. Yes. It's a lot of us over here. A lot of Dominicans, a lot of Puerto Ricans, a lot of Colombians, you know, and all of that. It's a lot of people over here that people don't know. A lot of Venezuelans now. Anyways, the point is, when I got over here, I saw that. That was one of the things that were a little, like, I get it. In the restaurant, we don't argue price. That's the price because they're making the food, right? Like, you try it. If you don't like it, you move on, right? You don't go ever again to that place because, you know, first, the price is, the food is not worth the price. And when you start doing that to places, guess what the place is going to do? Hey, we need to bring the price down. People are not coming. You know what I mean? So that's why local spots everywhere in the U.S., they always got business independently when what happened during the pandemic. Besides that, right, they always will have because their thing is going to be good and it's going to be the right price, right? Like they won't overshot you. Yeah, they already bothering you. They'll be like, hey, yo, that Cuban guy over here talking to you through the screen, but we're gonna bother you a little bit because he's around, and we want to know who he is. Your people is already like, hey, who is?
Yeah.
Anyways,
'Cause I like, first off, it's just me in the house. And I
no,
literally,
just you.
like, I heard,
We know it's not just you, but yes, just you.
I heard like a little voice, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know ain't nobody up here.
Hey, it's your people. Your people trying to be nosy, be like, hey, who is that little nigga? I like
They
him.
try to talk.
You know what I mean? I like him.
Don't start doing new things. You ain't never done that before. Relax.
Hey, they just be like, hey, I like him. What's up with him? That's good. That's good. But, you know, going back to what I was saying is like, that's one of the first things the first thing is the amount of things, the abundance, the ability to choose, right? If you don't like a product, you can go and get another one and another one.
Yeah.
And now with the internet here, whew, shoot, like I got me an iPhone 12 not long ago for work. I got it for like 100 and some bucks because this iPhone is not better than my nothing phone. My nothing phone was like 300 bucks. So that iPhone 12 is really good, really good. You know, because the system is up to date, the chip is really good, blah 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 blah. But it's not for $1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like my 6 that now I'm still paying a exorbitant amount of money, right, for that phone. And it's like, nah, that's the last time I do that, right? You're getting the consumerism side of things when you get here, because you never had nothing, right? Like, and it's so accessible. You have access, and that's what I tell people. That's the difference between me living in Cuba, me living over here. Access. We don't have access in Cuba. Like, I know Caribbeans. They don't leave. I know Caribbeans. I know a bunch of Puerto Ricans. I know a bunch of Dominicans that they probably come here, make a little money, but then they go back home. Right back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's say they can't work get their papers just in case things get a little out of hand. They can always come back, get a little more money, and keep going back home, right? Because of the access. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. Access. When you have access, life is a beautiful thing, and that's what happening with Cuba. We don't have access, and the little bit that enters into the island gets diluted so quick, and that's what you were saying. Hey, tourism helps a bunch of stuff. One of the good stories is like, people forget how the Berlin Wall collapsed. Giving them access, giving the people access. When people see how it is, how life gets easy, the system will collapse. And that's what was happening. I'm not going to lie to you. I was there when Obama did the first move and all of that, right? I was over there. I actually did a whole documentary about it. And still, my generation was like, nah, we still out. We out of here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not cool. And it was better than what it is today. You know what I mean? It was way better. When it comes to access, I'm talking about. Right now, the lack of access, it makes it really hard for people to just live a regular life. And that's the point.
Yeah.
But you want things to go your way, don't take away access. Give them enough access for the people to realize, right? Oh, wait a minute. These people be lying to us. You know what I mean? Or they being controlling the way we move, or they being, when you give access to people, then their mind start moving, But if you close it, you give it more restriction here and there, like you sending them right back to not liking you or resenting you,
Yeah, because that was a thing um, that was really eye opening is how, when it comes to the donations being given to Cuba, of like, you can't pass it out. Don't take it to the hospitals, right? Don't take the medications to the hospital and donate, because the hospitals, they work for the government. They are with the government, and they will call law enforcement on you, and you will go to jail for donations. And it's like, but I'm trying to help, but it's like, we're not doing that. And so it was real irritating, because it's like, I have a lot of people that want to donate and that wants to send things, and I had to tell everyone, you know, because that was another reason for me going to Cuba, was to get some things set up to start having donations sent out there. Because from what I was told, especially when I got there in Cuba, you cannot hand it out. As an American, you can't do it, because they will come and arrest you. But you have to be very mindful of how you go about having someone else do it, because it has to be on the hush hush, so the way people don't get in trouble, because word will get around. But then you also have to be mindful of who you let hand out the donations, because they might try to sell it and make money instead of just giving it away. But also, like, I have to tell people, because I have a lot of people like, well, what's going on with the donations being sent to Cuba? And I'm like, it's really easier said than done, even though it should be something like, we have donations, we send the donations are going to be handed out here. Yeah, it should be like that. However, there's a lot of red tape when it comes to that, because number one, sending donations to Cuba costs money. You can't just take it on a plane, because one suitcase is damn near $200 because of the weight, you know, and you're trying to take multiple things. You can only send certain items, so it's like, you either have to fly it there by plane, or if you fly by plane, it's not going to go to Havana, it's going to go to, what is it, Santiago? It's going to go to Santiago. Then you have to drive it from Santiago all the way to Havana. Or you can take it on a boat, but someone has to transport it from here to Florida, because it has to get checked out. You have to send a whole itemized list. And then from there, then it gets on a boat. And then it goes to Cuba. And the boat ain't going to get there within a day. You know? So I'm like, it's a lot that's going on, because then it's like, you have to have someone there that's going to pick up the donations. You have to find a space to be able to sort things out and hand it out. But then also doing it in a way of, letting people know that these resources are here, but also doing it in a way to where you don't make yourself a target. Because it's like, hey, donations are being handed out here, and it's like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna, so I'm like, it's a lot of things to making sure that everyone can get what is needed without getting in trouble, because right now too, if I'm not mistaken, Trump just put some whole thing out of like, there's no type of humanitarian aid, like no one can help Cuba. And I really sit here and I'm like, I need people to really think, because how I see, like, when it comes to the islands, about how people are being extremely hard on the islands, it's like, because they want those islands. So yeah, they're going to try to suffocate people out of it so they can take over that island and do whatever they want to do and make it some rich, hangout spot, displacing people. And it's like, historically, we should be aware of this, people being displaced from their lands. It's a history. This is nothing new. Like, this has been happening for generations and generations. And it's like, we are now seeing it. We're not just reading it in textbooks. We are actually seeing it, and people are actually living it. which is even worse, you know?
Yeah. Again, that's one of the things that two things can be true, right? Yes, we want whatever is going on to stop and have an actual system that works, right? But at the same time, do you want these other people that what they're gonna do is kind of the same
Yeah.
thing or worse, right? So that's the part I was saying before we started the conversation. It's like two things can be true, and it's actually it's multiple things can be true, right? Like I would love for my country to be free, 100%. But how that freedom looks like, you know what I mean? Do we gonna tell the truth? Just tell me one, and you know those are things that we need to. It's like we're going to continue with the lie that Cuba is a white country. Like we're gonna continue with that lie.
And
Like,
oh my
we're going
gosh,
to continue.
get it,
We're going to
and get
continue.
into Cuba.
We can get there. We can get there. But let me finish real quick. It's like we're going to continue to hide the truth, right? Like what is going on. I'm here. I got some money to spare. I pay somebody $500 if they tell me one Caribbean island that is fully white. I pay them. I pay them right now. I pay them. But if they don't find one, right? If they don't find one, they need to pay me that money back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
why? The reason why I'm saying is it's like it's nonsense, right? Like when we gonna tell the truth, right? Like yes, because all these things are true, right? Like it's not just one thing. It's not just one side. It's not just that. Yes, that people are zeroing in what their desire is. Like I want, because my entire family is still down there, right? I would love for my family to experience the things I experience. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't want them to experience the horrible things, right? So I want them to be able to have the proper things in their place where they live, that they can have the possibility to earn enough to go ahead and travel a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like go to this place and go to that place. That don't mean they're rich. They just got enough to go to probably a neighboring island. Don't matter. Hey, let's go to the neighboring island, have a good time, say what's up. Hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Like get to know each other. Like when you get to know people, when you try to understand those people, you see that we are not that different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At all. And that was the thing, like in Cuba, because of course everyone always, when they talk about Cubans, they always talk about the fair-skinned Cubans. And I'm the lightest one in my family. My family, I got family members that's way darker than you. And I'm looking at people and I'm like, these look like my uncles. These look like my they look like my great grandfather, you know. And of course, we see that when it comes to the islands, of how they always want to like, and people talk about this when it comes to Latin America about how they always whitewash. When it comes to the movies, the TV shows, the news anchors, like people that are in public, like to the public eye, it's always whitewashed, and it's like dark skinned Latinos exist. Latinos with kinky hair exist, you know. And that was a thing, like when it came to my godmother, when she was talking about going to the restaurants, because there's someone that she knows, he's dark skinned, real handsome, tall, young, and she was all like, it's hard for him to find a job where he can make a lot of money because he's dark skinned. And of course, when you tell people are like, that's not true, that's not true. And it's like, no. We go into the restaurants, and she asked me, she said, did you see any dark skinned waitresses or waiters? I was like, no. She's like, yeah. She's like, waiters and waitresses make money here, you know. But they're the face. And so given that they're the face, they're not going to show anyone that's dark skinned. You know, if you've seen one that's dark skinned, they're always in the back. They're always in the kitchen. And it's real fucked up because it's like that was literally what I saw. Or you see them, like there was this lady and this man every day before the sun is up or like early in the morning, you would hear them selling, walking down the street with like a little basket or a wagon, selling bread or selling like cleaning supplies. You know, when people talked about the Cuban mop, I thought it was a joke. I didn't think. I thought I heard people like, yeah, this is a Cuban mop, and it's like they don't use that in Cuba, and I'm like, no, that's for real, a Cuban mop, and I'm like, and so to see this woman, she was selling the mops, the brooms, like, and all those things, and every single day, like clockwork, and so I'm sitting here because I'm like, even listening to someone, he was talking about like the jobs. He was like, he's like, there's a lot of doctors, a lot of nurses. You know, you would think they would make good money working in the medical field here, but he was like, they don't pay a lot. He's like, you make more money working for a private owned company versus you would a government. And it's the opposite here. You work for the government, you make a lot of money, you got the benefits over there.
Vacation,
No.
so on and so forth. Yeah, over there.
Yeah. You know, he was like working as a house manager for the Airbnb. And that was a thing too when it came to money, because he was all like, he makes 103 US dollars a month. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, 103 a month? That's not a lot, but over there, it's a lot. And so he was talking about, you know, people that's doctors and stuff. He was like, they make less than I do. And I just manage this house. I just make sure everything is good. You know, I come make sure the water pump is flowing good, so there's no backups and things like that. And I'm like, that's so different. It's so different, you know? And so another thing that I saw in Cuba, bendiciones.
Bendiciones, Marina, ¿cómo estamos?
Santo, so sorry about the delay, y'all.
No, don't worry. ¿Cómo estamos?
Estamos bien, ahí en la lucha, como siempre.
La luchita, no es más nada, no es más nada.
Sí, no es más nada. El
And over here,
cafecito.
I'm like,
Ya lo sabe, ya lo sabe.
in a red cup,
And a little red cup, you know? And a little red
a
cup.
little red cup. That's for drinking. We were sitting here, and I was talking about how Noel, the house manager from the Airbnb, how he was saying, because we was talking about, well, before I get to that, how like when we got there to Cuba, you were like, in a lot of spaces, we're gonna see a lot of Cubans that are fair-skinned working these positions, like having these really good jobs in comparison to the dark-skinned Cubans. And I was like, yeah, because when we went to the restaurants, it was nothing but light-skinned Cubans, and in the kitchen, like in the very back, was the dark-skinned Cubans.
Yeah.
And also how Noel was like, he made more money working at the Airbnb versus working for the government. And I was like, and even then that was crazy because he was like, he makes $103 a month, and he was like, that's a lot compared to what everyone else is making. And I'm like, it's so different because over here, $103 a month. that's not even gas for 2-3 weeks.
Maybe. with these guys' prices, maybe.
$103 a month. If that was 103 American dollars a month, he was making a lot of money compared to the rest of the Cubans. Because in reality, a Cuban doctor can make as low as $4 a month for American dollars a month.
Yeah.
Can you? Sorry about that. I try to get
No
the
worries.
mic with no background noise, but we have a dog here because we have a daughter of St. Lazarus, so we can't get rid of the dog.
Okay. No voy a hacer eso, que se calienta la
Yeah,
raya.
it's for Baba.
Se calienta la raya rápido.
So yeah, $103. That must
It's
have
a
been.
lot.
Yeah, It must have been because he was working at the Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And I
really
was like,
that's
yeah, well, now that you're on here, we can talk about religion
Look, man.
because,
Look, man.
a little bit because she's
Hay
been
muchas
crowned.
preguntas. Fíjate, it's a lot of questions. It's like we were talking, and her people, tu ahijada, los negros de tu ahijada, they were all happy doing things that she normally don't see, right? And I was like, they just want to know who I am. They'd be like, oh, ¿qué es negrito ese que tú tienes ahí en la computadora? Déjame ver qué está haciendo el negrito ese.
Because I turned around and I'm like, because I literally heard someone talking and I'm like, I know ain't nobody walking to my house. And I'm like, who was talking? And he was like, it's your people. I was like, they ain't never done
It's your
that before.
people?
Relax.
Yo, people, they were trying to figure out who is that little nigga over there. I was like, hey, you know, eso es lo que pasa cuando un hijo de Shango entra por cualquier puerta. Vamos a hacer eso.
so that's your crown, Shango. Cabio's
Yeah, you know what?
That's my father.
I go baba
Yeah.
todos los días, you know?
Shango have this posture. We have a posture about ourselves, right? We're not slouchy people. We usually stand up tall. And Chango, Baba Chango, he has a way of having his children command rooms without his children even knowing it because of that spirituality. It's a beautiful one. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, they were
He told me about-
doing their thing.
Yeah. He told me his experience of when he found out he was a child of Shango. And
Oh, well, yeah. What's
then it was like,
overwhelming?
oh yeah, it makes sense. And it was like, it makes
mean,
so much
it-
sense.
What was your experience? What happened? Tell me.
First of all, like I wasn't even thinking about it. I'll be honest. Kids are always drawn to me, right? So I was like, I might let it go. You know what I mean? Always in my head, I always was like, and every time I said some, hey, you know, I would kneel to my daddies and and shit, right? I'm from Cuba. Like I came 10 years ago. Don't confuse it. Like I did everything over there. You know what I mean? So I used to, when I was a kid, I used to kneel and I used to ask things to El Egua, aka Echu, in this case, right? Because it's a Orumila one, not
Right,
a
not
Santero,
from a
right?
Santero, right.
But anything I asked, it was given, right? So in my head, growing up, I always thought, plus I'm the dark skin, you know what I mean? I'm
Right.
not the popular. I'm not the one that with the ladies. I'm not the one with, you know what I mean? I'm not. I'm the awkward kid, quirky, in the sense of I always was drawn to movies, music, those type of things. Not to be in parties or none of that. I always was like the quirky kid that loved sports, love those things that don't require for me to be in public, right? Like
Right.
to be this person, like what the stereotypical Shango
Yeah.
kid will be, right? So I'm not that kid, but I'm the kid that everybody is drawn to, everybody want to talk, all the other kids want to, the younger kids want to be around. And I thought that would be, okay, I'm Elegua. So it made sense, right? So I remember going to do the ceremony and everything. We were there, whatever. My dad, rest in peace. He was there, but he was handling all the things, right? You know, he was handling the money. You know, this costs money. That's what I
Right.
tell people.
Right.
These things cost money, not because of people trying to enrich themselves, even though we know some people do enrich themselves.
That right. Mhm.
But you know, it's when I say handling the money, it's like, you know, making sure the animals were there, making sure the things
Right.
that were needed for this ceremony were there, right? So I'm just a kid. Like when I say I'm just a kid, it's not I'm a kid. I was 17, right? But still a kid, right? I know what is going on, but I really don't know what is going on.
Yeah.
So gets the time, my dad was not on the room because he was doing other things, whatever. And they asked me, hey, who do you think? And I was like, hey, I always had this. I gave my explanation why I'm about to say this person, this Orisha. And they were like, all right, go ahead. Like, Rula at the end of the day is going to tell you yes or no, based on what we see here, right? Like, I was like, all right, Elegua. And they do their thing, you know what I mean? And the signal, the sign, the signal, the Odun that came in was like, but it's not like it was like no, but it was not a no, like it was like a yobeno. Like when you say yobeno, it's like nah.
The answer gotta be respected. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like nah. It's not me, bro. I wanna, I love you and everything, but I don't want type of thing, right? It's that type of no. It's like I like you and everything, but nah. You're not coming this way, And I was like, I got a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little disappointed. I was like, shit, because of my whole life.
That's who you thought it was, yeah.
Because the spirituality was with me, right?
Right.
And I was like, I was like, yeah, shit. And I remember the only thing I said, because my grandpa, now you hear, right, like I explained, my grandpa is one of the oldest Obas in Cuba.
Okay.
My grandpa is 98 right now. He's still alive. Of course, he don't do nothing now.
That's good.
He don't do nothing now because he's 98. But he's one of the oldest from Miguelito house. You know what I mean? So
okay. Miguelito
Febles.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He's that es la rama,
Yeah. That's the brand. Yeah.
Like a zona de octubre,
Uh-huh.
So he's one of the elders of that place. Now, right? He's the oldest Oba from that rama.
Alagua.
Yep. And my grandpa always used to tell me, you could be anybody. He never tried to tell us who we will be. He wanted us to go through the process, right? But one thing that he always said to me was like, you are anybody but Ogun.
Okay.
Because you are not, like, none of the things you do are Ogun related.
Right.
And I was like, what do you mean? What did that mean, right? Like, I'm a kid listening to this my entire life. So one of the Babalaos was like, all right, we already asked for, like, well, let's go ask for Ogun. And I remember telling him, you can say whatever you want. I was getting the otases, right? And I was telling him, you can say whatever you want, but one thing I do know is not, I was doing my thing, it's not a good. Bang! And and he did his thing, he gave me bang. I didn't even needed to look at it because I knew he's gonna say no, right? So I showed him, and he was like, oh shit, you really know. I was like, the thing is, I come from a spiritual family. I grew up seeing these things, right? Like I grew up, people telling me these things, like people around the family, people that were part of the La Casona, coming to my grandpa's and being like, oh, you gonna get to this place. Me being a kid, you know what I mean? And stand there for a period of time because I'm not the stereotypical son of Shango. And they were not, none of them were like, oh yeah, he's a Shango guy. You know what I mean? Like I used to have locks. You know what I mean? I used to have locks at this point. I used to dress very, like, como le llamamos en Cuba, alternative. You know what I mean? Muy alternativo, muy dreno, muy, I was dressed like that. So not the stereotypical Cuban that would be a kid of Shango. You know what I mean? I never was that guy. And the people that shows me, right? The bias, right? That's part of the things that I always say, this religion humbles you, right? Because you can have all the biases, you can have all these things, and that's what I was telling your goddaughter before she went over there. I was telling her, whatever you say, I know for a fact you are not what they told you before. Believe me, because I've seen it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So finally, my dad comes in and he was like, hey, what is going on? Like everybody, my brother already, they determined his was very quick, even though it was very difficult, way more difficult. He said Odua.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he said Odua song. You know what I mean? His is way more difficult to determine.
To determine,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
They determined his faster. You know, they went through the process, Pantheon. Now, all right, and then one of the Babalawo would look at him and was like, you know what? Odudua. Beep, poop, poop, poop. Odudua. You know what I mean? Because he saw my brother's demeanor.
Demeanor.
Right? He was like, you think too much. You are very reserved. You don't try to rush things. You don't try to, and that's very light.
Like, yeah.
Or Batala or Dudua.
Right.
Them two are like that, right?
Right.
And my brother has it more difficult. Alabatori saying, right? Orisha. And, you know, I'm still sitting there and my dad was like, hey, what's going on? My dad comes in and, hey, what's going on? He's like, no, we have asked almost everybody though. Nothing. My dad was like, wait, give me a second. Like, I'm wondering because I know the way he dresses, the way he acts, might confuse y'all who this little nigga is. and they were like, what are you talking about, Pepe? That's how they used to call him. And my dad was like, don't let the way he dresses, the way he expresses himself, the way he move, confuse you who this nigga is. Look at him. Look at his eye. Look beyond the way he's moving. And ask just one question. You just need to ask one question. And my dad was like, hey, Papi, tell them how much you love music. And what is your favorite instrument?
That's right.
And I was like, music, I need music. It's just like, if you want me to move, to do things, put music, a good little cup of coffee, and, you know, we're doing anything you want me to do, and it's going to get done. And the guy was like, all right, and what is your favorite instrument? I was like, dame los tambores. And I'm going to, you know, I don't even know how, but I know I'm going to play that thing.
Play the drums, yeah.
And he was like, God damn it. All right, Chango, papá, da, pa, orula, dime que hola, y yo ve, consigo.
Respeto.
You know what I mean? So, and I remember getting overwhelmed. I told her this story, right? Of course, I gave it a little bit more than what I normally give people because we're talking, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Because all my life, I seen the stereotypical sons of Chicago, you know, and I don't look like none of them. I don't move like none of them. I'm not the stereotypical Shango kid.
That's your opinion.
And no, 100%, of course. That's my opinion. You know,
I'm pretty sure that if you walk into a room, even though you seem to be very humble, that you are getting the attention of the people around you.
100%.
Because of the spirituality that walks with you. So you might not realize it. You cannot see it in you. It's like with her. Everybody could tell 10 miles away that she was Oshun. But when she looked in the mirror, she's like, I can't be Oshun. I got to be something else.
Exactly. You know? I know. But I told her before she even went over there, I was like, bro, you are more like Oshun than Yemaya. Don't, you know what I mean? Like I told her. And she was like, are you sure? I'm like, bro, like, come on. Like, of course, I already went, and that's when I told her my story. It's like, I already went through this. You know what I mean? Like, of course I know now, but I'm talking about this is when I was young. Of course I know now, man.
Of course I get it. No,
when I get in now.
Yeah, I would look at you and think, you don't look anything like Elegua. That's for sure.
No.
Because the children of Elegua have this, like, a little bit of a pain stuff about them. You know, they have this pain stuff. The daughters of Oshun have this, you know, this beauty, you know, that kind of comes through because that's just the spirituality. Elegua was left in the woods, so his kids have a little sadness about themselves. Usually have mommy issues or parent issues, and I didn't see that in you. You're, you know, confident, happy guy. That's Chango.
Yeah.
Yes. You know,
And that's what I was explaining to her. That at the time I got overwhelmed because in my head I was like, how, right? And it's not even that he said yes. He was like, yes. You know what I mean? Like with the punch on the table, like trying to say, right. Like saying, hey, you guys need to stop playing with my kid, right? Like, stop playing with my kid, right? And I remember that. I always remember that, even though, you know, things happen, like, you know, if I went traveling, you know what I mean? And things need to be done after if I went traveling and all of that, right?
Yeah, that's like another deal. But you know what? I think that the main thing and the most important thing out of this conversation that I would like the people to know is that when you go to find out who's your guardian angel, the first question should be, who do you think you are? Because we walk around with these thoughts in our heads. I was supposed to be crowned Ogun. You know, she was supposed to be crowned. First they told her Obatala, then they told her Yemaya.
Yemaya.
You know, they told her. So then there's always this doubt in your head, right? If you don't get to have the first question, the Aleyo, the person about to receive, should be able to say, I think that this is my guardian angel. That way that doubt can definitely leave your mind, you know. So the first one, I don't even know who was the first. Who did you think you was? Did you say? Who did you say? Autumn.
I said Shango.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So she thought that she could have been the daughter of Shango, right? So it's good for Orula to be like, no, just like you said. Oh, who would you like? Well, I want to be a Legua, and it's because of this. Get that out of the way. Then the next person is your godparent, you know, and the next person is the Babalao. So those are, to me, that's like the most important question because that doubt leaves your mind after that. Like, okay, we asked, and it turned out that wasn't who I thought I was. Like, I wanted to be Ochosi. They told me Ogun, but I wanted to be Ochosi. You see what I'm saying? So I got that out of the way as well. Ochum, no, it can't be. I'm not pretty enough to be the daughter of Ochum, even though I've already done 10 years on a runway as a model.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still couldn't. I still wasn't there. It's like, no, it can't be. So Orula's word does not fall to the floor, and Orula's word is the maximum. Right? Then after, I'm pretty sure that all of us, after we sat down and we thought about it, we're like, oh, dang, I am the daughter of Ochun. What the hell am I talking about? Like you said to yourself, damn, the way I love the drums, how could I be anything else but Chango? You see what I'm saying? After Orula says it, then you start analyzing it, and then you're like, oh, snap. Orula is right. You know?
Every day.
That's like important. Get your own doubts out of the way when you're about to find out who rules your head.
Yeah, because every day I sit here and I'm like, I was driving for work and I was like,
yes, Autumn.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I was sitting here and I was like, I can't be the child. Oh no, mine is messing up. Okay, every day I sit here and I'm driving to work and I was like, I'm really a child of Oshun? I can't believe it. Like,
you're breaking up.
Yeah, she broke up.
Okay.
Now we.
Ay. This dang thing.
Yeah, she's gonna reconnect her a little bit. Happens.
Yeah,
don't fight technology.
Technicality.
Yeah, don't fight technology. At the end of the day, but in the meantime, that she fixed it. As soon as I got out of Cuba, right, I came over here. over there, I ended up being the executive producer for the Theater Center of Havana. I was doing my thing over there. I was doing great, right? Like with Marvin, Jackie Escobedo, con toda esta gente, doing
Yeah.
great. I got the possibility, went to Mexico, to Guadalajara, to a theater festival, was there. I was like, all right, this is my time, right? Like I'm gonna take my chance. Came over here, and it's always something in the back of my mind that my grandpa used to say to me, even when I left, right? He was the one that did everything, religiously speaking, to make sure
Right.
I get to what I needed to get. I remember that you told him to tell me, hey, you will be happy. Hey, you
Hey,
back?
hello again.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it disconnected me. It's a hater. But I was sitting here saying every single day, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't believe I'm a child of Oshun. I'm really a child of Oshun. Like, for real, for real. Like, there's no way. And then I get in the mirror and I do my makeup and I'm like, I'm definitely a child of Oshun.
Ah, exactly. And you see what I'm telling?
Yeah, yeah.
No, like for example, my daughter. I always knew that my daughter is a child of a shoe. You
Right.
know. By the way, Yobe is kind of the region in this house. She's Ochungi Yobe. You know what I
Oh
mean?
wow.
Yeah, she is. So that's her sign. It's not my
Right.
sign. My sign close with, right?
Yeah.
Is my first witness. But my sign is not but
Yo.
hers it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mine close with. Yeah, my first testigo was like, but that's it, everything stopped there. Then Chango was like, what do you want? We asked Chango, hey, what do you need? No, I love him for free, but I want him to crown. That's what I'm going back this year. I'm going back.
Oh,
I'm crowning.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I'm getting
Yeah.
everything ready. Last year I went, got my local and everything. So, but I knew, for example, my daughter is a Oshun daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, like you can see, you know what I mean? Like she's like all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other people were like, nah, she's not. Like she's not. I'm like, you crazy? You gonna nah? My godfather was like, yeah, because he's her godfather too. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah, she is definitely she is.
Oh.
She
Yeah,
is.
we can always see it in others. We just can't seem to see it in ourselves, right?
Ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I don't know
And that's
why.
what I
Every
told
day.
her. That's what I told her. I remember telling her, it's like you can fight it. You can do whatever you want, Adam. Hey, I'm just trying to help. Whatever you need me, I'm always
Yeah,
here.
ask her what's her favorite color.
Ask her. Ask
What's
her.
your favorite color?
You know,
Hello.
and it's so funny because I always have a lot of pink. And growing up, I used to tell people, I hate yellow. I don't like yellow. It looks like pee. I don't want to wear yellow. And then I started wearing yellow, and people are like, oh my gosh, yellow is made for you. Yellow's your color. And I'm like, I hate yellow. I don't like it. And then
Whatever.
for the Misa to be like, you should wear a lot of yellow. It's your lucky color. And I'm like, oh,
Uh-huh.
she really loves you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I love her too. Like, yeah, I love her.
Hello.
Right, hello.
Hello.
Every time, even in Cuba, that guy that got mounted. I don't know. Oshun really loves you. It could be Oshun.
Right.
Could be Shango. Could be Obasalat. You'll find out tomorrow. And I'm like, how you know I'm
Don't
finding out
worry, be
tomorrow?
happy.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
part.
like,
but don't
what?
worry, be happy.
That
And
part.
then when we get to his house,
That
he was
part.
like, don't worry. And I was like, I wasn't worried at first. Now I am. Now I'm scared.
After that, you got worried.
Yes, like that's why I'm like I feel like spirits they like, even though they tell me to calm down, I know they get a kick out of my blood pressure being raised.
Right.
Cause then I start doing things and they were like, look at her running around like a little chicken.
Oh boy.
So
Yeah. No, that whole experience, that was the most beautiful drumming that I've been to because of the way the ocean was so blue and and the wind was so awesome. Those
Yeah.
are things that you can't really find in the Gulf of Mexico. Not because of
Okay.
it being the Gulf of Mexico, but because of Galveston, where we are located. It's just not the bluest water.
It's
So,
not.
It's
I've been over there. I've been over there.
yeah.
I told her. My godmother is in Houston right now. And I used to drive trucks before
Okay.
I became a journalist and all of that.
Yeah.
So I used to go over there a lot. And every time I had, for the gas, for the oil and all that, right? So every time that I had the possibility to stop, I used to go to get close to the water because even though and this is what I tell everybody. It's like, hey, we are from an island. It's just like I grew up. That's what I was telling her earlier. It's like I grew up less than a mile away from the beach. I was born in Buenoita. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm from
Yeah.
Buenoita. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like 70 abajo, boom, costa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's less than a mile. That's
Right.
like I don't know, less than even a kilometer.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you were born that close to the water, like you need to live that close to the water.
Right.
It's not healthy, for the person to be so far away. So every time, at the time I was living in Chicago,
Oh,
so
yeah.
meaning I'm far away from the sea.
From the water,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like I'm far away. And I always was depressed and all that. So every time I had the possibility to be close to it, like I said, it can be down there, Houston area, or it can be when I used to go to Ocala in Florida, or
Yeah.
Georgia, something like that. I
Right.
used to stop. Like literally, I used to stop. I'll be like, "Hey, bro, we're not moving today. We're going to the water now," because I used to drive with the Puerto Rican guy. He's my brother now, right? So at the time, he was just a Puerto Rican guy that drove with me, right? But we became really good friends, brothers now, right? And he used to be like, all right, we stop then, because he likes it, because at the same time he could
He's
drink
from
his
Puerto
little beer.
Rico, yeah.
You know what I
He
mean?
needs the water too.
You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, we should go, whatever. So we used to stop regularly every time we were close enough, like less than an hour, we stop it, because we need the water. We need to be around, even though I can't be messing with it that much. That's a Chango song. You know what I mean? I cannot be like, oh, I'm Flipper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I'm
You
a
can't be
dolphin.
Flipper because
I cannot be doing
that's
that.
one of those loves. She
You
loves
know
you
what I mean?
so much.
Like you can't stand.
You will become Flipper.
Yeah, So, you cannot do that, but, you can do it once a while, right?
Right,
Like
once
you
in a
cannot
while.
be doing that every day, but
Right.
you can, once a while,
Yeah.
you can actually become part of the ocean, be with the ocean, all of
Right,
that.
right.
And that's one of the things that are beautiful about our religion, and it's so personal. Like I tell people, this is so personal. This is so. Everybody got their own experience with this situation. It's so personal. It's so you. It's so for you. It's not just because she's an Oshun daughter. Don't mean that because you, that are her godmother, are assumed that you guys are equal. No.
Oh, no.
That don't mean that. Not even my daughter is equal to y'all.
Right.
And that's
Because
what I
every Odun is
told.
so extensive that you can't even
Right.
pinpoint which part of the Odun the person's gonna live. So, yeah, it's just not. Even
It's
if
so
you have the same
unique.
signs, it still doesn't make you the same person. Definitely.
Right, it's so unique. And I
Yeah.
remember that was the type of conversation I used to have with Autumn. It's like, yo, like I'm glad that you chose our tradition, our spirituality, because it's so unique.
Yes, it
It would
is.
show it would show you things about yourself that you didn't even know.
Right.
And the best part is it would show you in past, present, future. Like
Exactly.
you never know when it's gonna show it to you, or if it's already showed to you. it's up to you to pay attention to the science and all
And a
that.
lot of
It's
people
like,
don't understand. They'll listen to a Odun and they're like, that's not me. And they don't realize that it is you, and it's just you not realizing how you're affecting other people around you. So the thing that you have to pick up with Oduns is you're supposed to internalize it, not look at it as I'm a victim. You're trying to victimize me. Like some people might have like really strong Oduns about how they treat other people, right? And they're like, no, that's not me. That's not me. But you have to sit down and analyze your actions, analyze how you're coming across, and then understand that it's your Odun, therefore you are the catalyst. If it wasn't you, if you wasn't the catalyst of that Odun, it wouldn't be yours.
Actually,
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The situation that Orula is pinpointing, or the Dilogun is pinpointing about you, is something that you do, you cause, you create, and you are in control of that. And then you have to be very conscious of, this is who I am, this is what I create, and this is how I affect when I deal with other people. You know, we had one here that he came up with the apple of discord, right? La manzana de la
that's
discordia.
not like code, yeah.
So he was devastated. He said, "That's not me. I am not a person that causes discord. It's not that I walk into the room and I start and he doesn't. He doesn't, not at all. But he'll walk into the room and have one question, and that question
And
will
that's
get
it.
everybody in the room going crazy. And he's sitting down there trying to figure out, I just asked one very innocent question.
Yeah.
How did all of this happen with this one question? That is the energy that you walk in with, because that's who you
Right.
are. And spirit uses you
For
you
that.
to, yes, spirit uses you to affect and inflict into others. Sometimes you walk in thinking, I'm not doing anything, I'm going to sit in this corner and mind my own business. And because you have the energy of whatever it might be, when you walk into the room, you sat in the corner, you didn't talk to anybody, but your energy already affected the whole room. You know? So this is what people, when they come here, is what they need to be able to have a strong heart and a lot of brain matter and brain thought to realize, oh my God, this is what I do. I have another one that wherever she goes, she breaks up groups. And I'm like, she's like, oh, nobody loves me. No. You're doing this. So you need to find out what is it that you're doing to the group to make them not want to be around you anymore. It's hard. It's not an easy religion.
And it's about you.
religion.
And it's about you.
Yes.
It's not about, this is accountability. Our spirituality is accountability personified. Personified. Personified.
Yeah.
Sorry. Personified.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
this is like, this is who you are. How
Yes.
you're gonna move is gonna determine how people will view you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, for
Exactly.
example, funny, right? That's what I say. I'm a journalist now, right?
Yeah.
People believe and read what I write, right?
Right.
And it's funny because I changed that.
Okay.
Like, in my own doing is, people even in my family won't believe what I'm saying.
Right.
That's my own doing.
Right.
And it's like, people won't believe me, even in my family. You know what I mean? I'll be one of these people that always be traveling, one of these people that will be doing these big things, and people won't believe me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the way I changed it, and that's what I said, is like I changed that. Like I was like, all right,
Of course.
they say people won't believe me, but they will believe the newspaper, they will believe the radio, they will believe the TV. Guess what? I will become a journalist. Let's see if they will believe me.
I completely understand what you're saying. It's your Odun, you are the catalyst. So when you know who you are, when you know what you can do and how you can affect, then that means to say that you have now the power to change this, like you did, change it into what you want it, and then push it out the way that you want to push it out. And that's because you have been able to do introspection of who you are, what you do, and then turn around and flip you. Or when he showed, everybody kicks me away. So then what I do is I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. This is going to happen regardless. So what I have to do is make sure that I don't do anything, nothing for that person to want to do that. And regardless of whenever I have to get up and walk away, at that point, you definitely kick me out, but I left in Ire. And I left you behind in Osorbo. So some people might think that I'm like super nice, super kind. No, I'm purposely being super nice, super kind, because I know that eventually Eshu is gonna come in and part the difference. And if you're a person that needs to be away from me, Eshu will be the one to part that difference, leaving me in Ire and putting everybody else that did me wrong in Osorbo. So I'm very mindful and thoughtful about everything that I do to everybody. And then it's really odd because Ifa is probably the book that Jesus Christ was talking about when he said, do unto others the way you want them to do unto you. It really is.
That's simple.
It's very simple. These are the things that you do to others. These are the things that you need to stop doing to others, so others will respect and love you. Oh, you everything that I say, you think that it's gonna be a lie. So from this moment on, I will tell the truth. And then it'll be on you to decide.
Yeah.
But Egun and Spirit and the Orishas know that that is no longer what I do. That's what you did. You took it and you metamorphosed it and changed it to the positivity and bring it into Ire and left the Osorbo of the Odun behind. Ashe for you.
And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. It's also another thing is like, hey, don't. I remember, and you know how it is in Cuba. Hey, like people would think that you are a dodgy and shit, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, people's gonna think regardless, right?
Right.
People's gonna think about it regardless. I don't need to do it because even without me doing anything, they're gonna think regardless, right?
Right.
Now I'm gonna treat the adults good,
Right.
because they are the ones that need to know I'm not. You know what I mean?
Right.
That I'm a respectful person, that respect them, their nature, their humanity, right? So I'm gonna respect them so much that they are the ones that are gonna be like, nah,
leave him alone. Exactly.
do this straight.
Yeah.
Do this straight. You know, do it straight. He's a great person. Don't mess with him. Don't do that. Because dude is extremely good person, extremely respectful. He's mindful.
And he's just our friend.
Exactly. So that's what I started doing. That's how I got to the theater. Look, I started being good, nice to people, got to the theater, Central Havana, was doing my thing over there, became the producer over there. You know what I mean? And everybody, not everybody, but most of the people around me, they were a dandy. You know what I mean? Most people.
Right.
Male, female.
Right.
Don't even matter. They, them, there, all of the denomination, all of them, and start being like, nah, do good. He's with us, he's good people. He's not. He's just good friend with us. We love him.
Yeah, it's just that's what Oduns are all about. It's about being able to self-analyze, being able to do your introspection, being able to understand what it is that Orula is trying to tell you, and then work on those on those situations. It's simple, but it could be so complicated for certain people, especially if you have narcissistic tendencies, because then all of a sudden you're not accountable, because narcissistic people are usually not able to be accountable to what they're doing or what they're not doing. And get away, cat. And because of that, that's when we end up with these people that want to take what they have and then control others. And then that's the big problem, right? because we move energy. We definitely move energy, and we do what's called blood magic. Then people assume that we are evil, and that's the assumption is only coming unto you're judging accordingly to what you would do. So that's what you're
Exactly.
assuming, because if you had that kind of power, you would destroy the world. So you assume that we're going to be doing the same thing, you know? And then you get others that are constantly within the religion that are constantly trying to maneuver their way onto other people, not realizing that in this matrix, because if you look at the matrix logo, when you saw all the ones and the
Oh
zeros
yeah.
dropping,
The
and then
one and zeros.
yeah, and then the background is black, but that background is Egun. You got your Odus falling, right? And then you got Edu holding all of it together, and that's who's judging you. So you think you're doing something to somebody else because you're moving energy and you're doing all this and you're all that. You got all these spirits constantly looking, and it's like, oh, did you see what he did? Then all of a sudden that karma is gonna cycle around, and then you're like, whoa, how did this happen to me? And then we're back to poor me.
Yeah.
Can you believe what they
Because
did to
and
me? What about what
it's
you did?
100%,
Yeah.
and people don't mix it. It's like what you just said is first it's karma, but it's also the second law of physics by Newton.
Yes.
And
Yes.
to an action, an equal and proportionally
Yes.
reaction.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
and the people think the reaction is going to be the reaction of the person, not necessarily.
No.
You just put a bad energy out there.
And you're
Yes,
gonna
you
get
use the
boomerang.
person. The person make you put this bad energy out there.
Uh-huh.
Don't means that the person is the one that is going to have a reaction. Sometimes it's the person. Sometimes it's a dog. Sometimes it's just life
Right.
coming back around and being like, you remember you put this bad energy, you did this
Right.
bad energy, bam, 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 boom.
Man, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you be like, and that's what those people be like, but why me? It's like, why you?
Yeah.
Because you were doing a lot of bullshit over there. You
Right.
didn't not
Right.
do right. And, life is going to come back
And show you
te
what
vas
they
a
were.
randear, Te vas a
Yeah,
randear.
yeah. Because your guardian angel never sells you. Your guardian angel doesn't trade you, and your guardian angel is always with you. And so, regardless if you're crowned or not, you have to respect everybody because everybody has a guardian angel. Regardless if they're a believer of this or not, they still have a guardian angel that's looking out for them. So you have to be, kind and compassionate to other people because then that's what you're gonna get back. Of course, it has nothing to do with getting money or getting riches, but it's at another level because the whole money, getting riches, that's commanding the universe to give you. That's a whole completely different thing. But since we're in this reality playing this game, we have to have respect for one another, and I think that that's what a lot of people, just constantly forget.
Yeah. And,
Constantly.
and I have a question. I have a question for you, Adam. How things have changed for you since you came back from Cuba?
That's a good question.
I feel like coming back from Cuba, I went through definitely some additional emotional healing. I feel like there was a spiritual a spiritual like I feel like I've grown a little bit more spiritually. I definitely feel like I've noticed some changes within myself, especially I feel like a bigger connection with my Ori. Because I always would pray to my Ori, I always talk to my Ori, but I feel like coming back from Cuba and getting answers, it really like I feel like a switch went off in many different areas. And I know me and my godmother, we talk about chakras, and I definitely feel like since that day that the Odu came down, I feel like there was a whole realignment. And now I feel like I've gotten a lot of confirmations, but I really feel like it had put me even more on track. I feel like my little train, it was off track a little bit, but it was still going straight. It was just a little off track, little sparks in the back. But now I feel like there's a total realignment, and it has definitely awakened something in me to. I've always been big on not making excuses, but more than ever, I'm like, oh, there's no excuse. And now that I know who my guardian is, now I have these answers, I definitely feel like a little bit more unstoppable than before.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to get this in. I have to remind myself to slow down because given now that I have clarity and confirmation on a lot of things, it's like, okay, but slow down. Like, it's still not time to do X, Y, and Z just yet. Like, relax a little bit. Like, you're going to get there. Like, we're here to help you. Just relax, continue to grow. And one thing I always wanted to know a lot about the tradition. I want to know the songs. I want to know the prayers. I want to know the different type of ebo, the different adimus, all these things. And it's like, slow down. You have time. Relax. Like you will get there. And it was funny because a Babalao, he sat there and he was all like, the person that tries to know it all at once knows nothing versus the person that realizes they know nothing and they like take their time, they end up knowing a lot
A lot
more. And so
more.
I'm like, you're right, I need to slow down a little bit because I'm trying to know so much, it's like I'm forgetting it right away. and so I definitely, and I like sit here and I like try, and I've always been like trying to get people to like know their destiny, but I'm like, no, like you really got to know your destiny. Like you really should, you know, go find that out. But I also tell people like it, people will get to it when it's time. And I used to always kind of beat myself up over not being in a tradition sooner because I'm like, well, look at Cubans and be like, oh, I wish I was born in the tradition. I wish I would have got like my start a lot earlier. And it's like you started when you needed to start. Like you
It's
had to
on
go through
divine
what you had to
time.
go through.
divine
Hey,
time.
And it's
look,
yeah.
you're looking at the clearest example. I have a Manorula since I was 17. I'm almost 40.
Oh
You know what I mean?
It's a
Like,
divine
yeah.
time.
and
It
now,
really is.
and now, you know what I mean? And now is that
Right.
I'm going to crown. You know,
And
I could
Yeah.
have crowned. I could have
he
been
was
crowned,
born in
right?
a family where everybody practiced. So that's to show you that
Yeah.
it's always in divine time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
Like
that was the
my,
thing too.
you
With
know,
the
you
divine
know,
time.
right? You know that expression that you elders, Marina, you guys say, take your time. I always tell her that. Take
Yeah.
your time.
It's
I
your time.
learned my lesson. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
time is my time. My time is not Marina's
Right.
or Adam's or my godfather or my madrina.
Yeah.
You know, my godfather Dennis or my madrina over there. Like it's
Yeah.
not. Their time was their time. Like my time is my time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I remember hearing this. That's one thing that elders in Cuba will tell you. Don't matter if they practice or not. They will tell you, take
Take
your
your
time.
time.
Tómate tu tiempo. El
Yeah.
tuyo. You know, your time.
That's what I told
They're
you.
not talking about
Yeah.
to slow down. That's not what I mean.
Yeah, that's
Because
it,
people
yeah.
think, oh, they're telling you to slow down. No, that's not what I mean. What it means. What it means is do things your way, your time.
Isn't that what I told you, baby?
Yeah.
It's not Juanitos or
Yeah.
Esperancejas
Yeah.
way
Or
or
come
time.
come do this now because I gotta do this. No, 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 no.
No,
You
no, no,
take
no.
Yeah.
your time, do everything
Yeah.
right. Make sure that everything that you do, you cross your T's and you dot your I's. So
Yeah.
whenever you walk in, because the most important thing is that when you walk through that door, you want to receive a really good odum, right? If you go in with haste, then you're gonna get a hasty odum. If you go in upset, then you're gonna get, whatever your mood is at the time. So you need to really take your time, make sure that you're feeling on Zen, that everything has been
Yeah.
cleared, that you're walking in Ide. So when Orisha starts talking to you, they're only giving you blessings. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if they give you one or two or so, but that's perfect because life
It's
has its up
normal.
and down. You don't want to
Yeah.
have a Ide that's for there. You don't want to have everything Ide. You know, but by the same token, you want it that when you walk in, you're at your best.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to
Mm-hmm.
take your
Yeah.
time. You have to take your
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I sit here and I think about my journey with Orisha and everything that has transpired. And I sit there and I'm like, yeah, they really talk about when it's your time
Hmm.
because it wasn't time for me to initiate 3 years ago.
Right.
That's why it didn't happen,
Right.
you know? And it's like, but since you want to do it so badly, go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
spend that money. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, now you're going to do it when it's time. Or do you have to go through this lesson again? And it's like, I don't
Yeah.
want to learn that
No,
lesson
but
again.
that, like I said before, I feel like this happened to you the way it did because there's a lot of people out there going through the same situation. So then you're
Hmm.
going to be able to give introspection on that. Hey, I've been
Yeah.
there. This happened to me. Now I'm here, and this happened to me, and that's why I can tell you that this is this way and this is that way. And
Yeah.
you know, you're going to be able to give an option. I mean,
Hmm.
they're putting you through that test
Yeah.
so you can help other people the day of tomorrow. That's really all it
Yeah.
is, you know. So
Yeah,
sorry.
cause I'm like, ooh, this isn't. But I will say because of course I've had my moments of like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? There's no way I'm supposed to be like I'm supposed to be in this tradition and I'm experiencing this. Like, why would they have me do this? And for it to come
It's
up
part of the
and
journey.
Odu's like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's like, yeah, and it was really like it
Sorry.
took a weight off my shoulder when the Bible I was like, no, you're born to work this tradition. I'm like, okay, so I don't feel as bad about everything I went through because it's like any question I had about if I'm supposed to work this tradition, it was like, no, you are. And so I'm like, okay. And I kept walking. I was like, this my experience had made me appreciate the Orisha even more because I'm like, regardless of everything that I went through, they've always answered my prayers. They've always shown up. I I feel their presence. Like I was like, so there's no doubt ever in my mind moving forward if the Orishas are real or not.
Right. Right.
You know, because
Um, I'm sorry, Adam, but we are with your godmother, so she needed to know. So I remember the day she called me, and I heard it on her voice. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Right? And she was like, "Hey, I know we don't talk a lot because we met on this platform or whatever, and we don't talk a lot. Yes, we exchange number, but we don't talk a lot because, right? I don't know, right? And I suffered this situation, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. You know how we are, Cubans, right?
Yeah.
Like when that type of thing happen, and especially when we come from families that are like tight when it comes to that the people don't play with people's energies and emotions and
And the
spirituality
crown.
and you know what I mean? Or colori, like, we don't
Right.
play with that. So
Right.
immediately I was like, my brother, like he's like my brother, like we I know him now for almost 20 years, right? I was like, he's in Babalawo, he's in Spain. I was like, hey, one of my friends is having this situation. I want you to check on her real quick. I'm gonna add her to our little group or whatever, like family group. I called my godmother. I was like, hey, mama, yo, this is happening. I think they did some bad to her and shit. We don't, she's gonna find her people, but I want her to know that people that really do this, are behind her. Like if wherever she is, we're here. Like, we're not trying to make her be with us or none of that. That's not the
No, no.
objective.
Este
We
palo
just
tiene
want to
sombra.
help. Right. Like something is wrong. We need to make sure
Yeah.
we
No, I
fix
get
it.
it.
So she was in the group or whatever, and they spoke briefly. And my godmother calls me back. And she was like, hey, they did bullshit to her. Like the first thing that she needs to do is stop for a second, breathe, and go to someone that really knows, right? And then from there, she needs to choose because at the end of the day, it's her right to choose.
Right.
And my brother, he was like, "Hey, I had a little view or whatever. Like, yeah, they didn't do shit to her. Like, she don't got nothing. Like, the only thing that I can say, because I'm not her godfather or nothing, the only thing I can say is she needs to chill and find the right people. And once she finds the right people, everything will be aligned for her." And I remember I was telling her that. I was like, hey, this is what they say. If you need any other help, my godmother living over there, she can go with you and check on people or these people that you found, right? And she was like, no, these people is good, meaning yourself. No, these people are good. They're talking to me, da-da-da-da. That's when I got more calm.
It's a relief.
Because it's right, because it's, for me, it's like, you going through this crap. It's not that I'm going to the best time of my life or none of that,
No,
right?
I get it. It's
But when it comes to those things, we try to fix it right away.
yeah, it's the most
Kill it from the roots.
devastating. I'm very empathic. I'm an empath from birth. So, when I see her, and there's another person over, there's like 3 or 4 of them that have come here so far. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because of the love that I have for Orisha, for this religion, for, the whole religion, Egun, Ifa, Dilogun, Orisha. There's just so, it's all so beautiful that to take somebody that has this same love and affinity and do what was done to her and to a whole bunch of people. There's a lot of people out there that are going through this, and to play with them like that, it's the most devastating thing that could happen to a person. And I know that to come to that realization, it's even harder because you've done so much sacrifice to get to that point, then to find out that nothing was done and that all your sacrifice seems like it was done in vain. This is the most devastating thing that you could do to a person. Some people just can't snap back. So I commend Autumn for being able to have the strength, like the good daughter of Ochum she is, to say, I'm a badass and I'm going to move forward and I am not giving up on Orisha, because I do realize that humans are humans and divinity of the Orisha is the divinity of the Orisha that's over here. So I commend her for that. I tilt my hat to her on that. And that's why I tell her, your path will not be diminished by the situation that you went through. On the contrary, this is one of the pillars that you're going to be able to hold on to. And that's going to walk you, past, ahead and beyond. The new generation comes in and the elders, it's time for us to sit down and watch the new generation work. I am willing and able. I have no problem with that because I want the religion to grow. That's my focus, is for the religion to grow. So it's not for me to try to keep anybody down or anybody tied to me. I'm not trying to do that. So when I see her, I motivate her and I tell her, take your time, analyze your steps, analyze the situations that are coming ahead. Always remember, Orisha is Orisha, Egun is Egun, and humans are humans. But this human experience is one that's going to help you to bring a whole world, towards you and the things that you're trying to do. So this is it's a great thing. It's how the garden grows, right? With these people, with this here mud, Now we got all this mud, but let me plant a seed and make it be a positive seed, so Orisha can be the kind of daughter of Oshun that this is gonna push out.
Hey,
you know,
Yeah.
spreading your love and spreading all the good things that you have, and knowing that in your heart, yeah, they did whatever, but I'm still a queen.
Yeah.
You know, you try to fake crown me, but I got my crown,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna be all right, and that's all you got to worry about.
100%. Plus, you got a direct line with Olofi, so you know.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
very
hey,
true.
you got a direct line. When they bother you a little bit too much, you just need to kneel over there and be like, "Hey,
I love
talk to
you.
Poppy
Go
real
to
quick.
the
Hey,
wedding.
Olofi, these people be bothering me and shit.
Yeah.
Talk to them real quick."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she has Oshun, which is a savage. A lot of people underestimate the daughters of Oshun, but you can't have the ceremony without coming into her womb. Ceremony always starts with Oshun, okay? And in the end, when they're trying to sweeten everything up, they have to count
Guess
again
what?
with Oshun. So don't let nobody try to make you feel like Oshun is less, because she is not. She is no
Yeah, she's not.
joke. She is no joke.
Yeah.
She is no
She's
joke.
not.
Okay.
She's not.
She's the one that has the glue for everything, because she's the goddess of love. And this world is
Yeah.
nothing without love. Look at how the less love they put out there, the more people suffer. So we all
Yeah.
need Oshun to bring back our energy, to lift our vibration, because love is the highest vibration that the universe can give you. And that's what Oshun gives, pure love.
Yeah.
You get to go
Yeah.
even
Because even all the patakis, because even all the patakis of her being the youngest, being the smallest, and I always think about. Of course, there's a lot of ones where she takes, but it was more so when all of the other Orishas, the other six, or it was all the male Orishas, they were sitting there, I guess, doing stuff with the land, and they pushed Oshun out. And Oshun took all her blessings, and they went to a room and be like, "What needs to be
She's
done?"
like this
You know,
in the mirror.
and they
Do
had
what
to
they gotta do
come
without
begging.
me.
Yeah. They had to come apologize and beg for her to nourish the ground so things could be fruitful again. And it's funny because I sit there and I think about that. And I was thinking about that a couple of days ago. And I was thinking about, because again, I'm like, I can't believe I'm a child of Oshun. But then I sit here and I'm like, you know what? People always underestimate me. And people always think I'm so like, everyone calls me so dainty. And I'm like, I'm not dainty. They're like, you are dainty. You're like a little flower. You're so fragile. And I'm like, I'm going to show you. And it's like, because I'm like, everyone treats me like I'm so small. And I'm like, I can do
No,
it. Like,
no.
I got it.
Hey, but that's good. You know, that's good. That's one of the
Yeah.
advantages. It's like let them
Yeah.
think, let them do it. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
you just be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I got to tap into that Oshun and she's like, yeah, I can. Can you do it for me? I need
Come on now,
help.
come on now.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
people are trying to make you mad, just smile. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let them bring down your vibration for
Yeah,
nothing.
just smile.
You know, you
Just
stay high
smile.
vibrational. You smile. You walk away. It's the same thing. You know. Oh, you think you was getting over on me? Well, now you don't have me in your life. Now what you gonna do? You know. And then that's when they realize, oh damn. You know, I probably should have been nicer.
Yeah, because I always sit here, I'm like, they piss me off. Everybody always pisses me off. Everybody. I'm like, they piss me off. I'm not going to talk to them no more.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I really enjoyed this episode. It was so funny because in the start of the episode, I was talking about like my experience with Cuba. And it was so funny because I planned it out great. Because then Boris logged in and conversation continued on. And then you logged in. I was like, oh yeah, it's just so great. It worked out. It may have, and that's one thing that I sit and think about how I overthink and I always want things to be perfect. 'Cause I always want things to be my way. But then I'm constantly reminded of like patience and just everything will work out the way it's supposed to work out.
Girl, it's gonna
And to
flow the way it's supposed
appreciate.
to flow.
I'm learning how to flow Do I like it? Not really. You know, because why can't I just kick to get us there faster? But then it's like, because you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just flow, you know. Go with the river. Just kick back.
And always know that the river doesn't go backwards.
Yeah,
It showed
It
up.
keeps going forward. Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and so I'm learning the ways of Oshun.
There you go.
I know she probably tired of me because I'm like, but why is it like this? Why can't we do it like that? And it's like, child, I've been here for ages since the creation of Earth. And you gonna tell me how to do this?
Right, exactly. That's why you gotta just let it flow, girl. Because they're gonna flow. They're gonna move things the way they want them to move. You know, I
Yeah,
logged in when I was supposed to log in. He logged in when he was supposed to log in, and
yeah,
it's been a beautiful conversation. Yep.
yes, very beautiful. So, you guys want to plug in your businesses? ¿Cómo se dice businesses?
Negocios.
Negocio.
There you go. Plug it in.
My website is divinewaters.tarot.com. Divinewaterstarot.com. I can be reached there. You can find me there, my email, my numbers, everything.
Everything.
Perfect.
You know,
Now,
she does readings.
Yeah.
She does she does prescriptions. We're not talking about medical prescriptions.
No,
You know, spiritual prescriptions.
Yeah.
You know, to improve your life,
Yes.
change the outcomes.
Yes.
it's like the trend in TikTok. Mira, la madrina va a hablar, and don't be playing with her. Listen what she needs to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, you guys can follow me at by Boris Cuba everywhere. Like I said, I became a journalist over here in the U.S. You can also find me in Boris Cuba in USA Today. You put Boris Q, like it is on my little thing, Boris Q, apostrophe B as in Victor A, Boris Cuba is the pronunciation, but it's written that way. It's kind of an homage to the land that saw me. That's my middle name, by the way. You know, here in the U.S., when you become a citizen, you can do certain things that normally you won't be able to do. So I added as a middle name Cuba, but I wrote it like with the Q, V as a Victor, A, because it's an homage phonetically to my country where I came from, but in writing to the black community because they opened the door for me, and thanks to them, I'm where I'm at. So you can find me at Boris Cuba in USA Today. I'm the only one that writes in Spanish. So if you want to know what is going on in the world, or tech, or football, or whatever, you can find me at USA Today, Boris Cuba, with QV as in Victor A.
Nice. Yay.
I want to thank you guys for being on here because this episode is something that I wanted to do since even going to Cuba. I want to talk about Cuba and the different aspects of it. You know, with Oludumare's and the Orishas and Egun's blessings, that you know we are able to go forth with the donations, getting out there. Like I was telling Boris earlier, you know, a lot of people don't understand the difficulties with trying to get donations out there. You know, it's definitely a process, and it's not like how doing donations here in the States of, oh, we're all gonna come do a charity drive, we're gonna pass this out. It's so much red tape out there.
Yeah.
That it's like you really have to like play it smart so the way you don't get in trouble and you also can come back and do it again.
Yeah.
So with with the blessings of Oludumare, maybe we'll be able to get that going. But again, I thank y'all for coming on here
Thank
to
you.
my little podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and you guys have a great rest of your day.
You too now.
And I
Blessings.
shall talk to y'all later. All right. Bye.